Hello, my name is Andrea Hess. I'm an intuitive consultant and the author of the book Unlock Your Intuition. This is part 2 of my video series on meditation. In the last video we talked a lot about why we would want to cultivate a disciplined mind. And what I'd like to talk about in this video is how the mind reacts when we start disciplining it. Because this is one of the biggest hurdles that we have to overcome when we start meditating. Your mind, up until you become a meditator, usually is a lot like a very undisciplined 3-year-old that knows no boundaries. And now your mind is that toddler that hears the word no for the first time. And your mind does just what a toddler would. It throws a tantrum. So let's talk about what a mental tantrum would look like. That could look like your mind talking you out of your meditation practice to begin with. So before you even get to sit down and meditate, your mind starts telling you things like, oh, let's do it tomorrow, let's do something else, I'm hungry, I don't really want to, give yourself a break, you've had a hard day, last thing you want to do today is meditate, that kind of thing. So you'll try to talk yourself out of the whole practice. Another mental tantrum can happen when you're in meditation. First of all, while you're there, your mind will go all over the place. It'll dart off here, off there. And then it'll start telling you things like, this isn't working. Look at how unfocused you are. Meditation's about improving your concentration, right? Look at this. You are a bad meditator. This isn't working for you. Just quit. So that's another mental tantrum. Another lovely trick that the mind will play is it'll put you to sleep. You'll meditate and suddenly you'll get very drowsy and suddenly you're no longer meditating, you're napping. And that's another one of the attempts of the mind to resist the discipline that we're trying to impose upon it. And then finally, your mind will also start creating some very unpleasant physical sensations. So your legs will go to sleep really fast, or you'll get all itchy and twitchy and feel anxious while you're sitting there. You'll just get really physically uncomfortable. That's another thing your mind will create in order to get out of this discipline that we're imposing upon it through meditation. Once we understand that this is what our mind is doing, we really have a better chance of cultivating a regular practice. Because, you know what? We have to acknowledge that the mind hates meditating. The mind doesn't like to be disciplined. It's been running the show. It's had lots of fun. And now here we come and we're trying to focus the mind on something that, quite frankly, is kind of boring, like the breath. Who wants to watch the breath for 5 minutes? That's dull, right? So your mind is going to try and entertain itself. It really likes thinking. That's what the mind does. And when we ask it to focus itself on, say, a mantra or a physical sensation, your mind gets awfully bored awfully fast. And when we tell it to stay there, it resists. As long as we understand that that's what's happening, then we also know why in the beginning meditation is so difficult. It's the mind throwing a tantrum. So as you start a meditation practice, just acknowledge that your mind is going to put up a fight. And you can treat it like that undisciplined toddler. Very lovingly, with great understanding, but with discipline. My name is Andrea Hess. My website is empoweredsoul.com. I hope you stop by and visit and maybe leave a comment on my blog. Thank you so much for listening.